Hello everybody, welcome back to some more Planet Coaster. Remember to leave a like if you guys are enjoying this series and want to continue to see more in the future. I'm glad you guys enjoyed the last park so much. I couldn't wait. I actually just couldn't wait. I had other videos I wanted to do, but I just couldn't wait to go work on a brand new park. So we just immediately jumped in and started working. This one's going to be a lot more focused. I decided for a first smaller park, it's not going to be a huge massive park like our previous one. It's going to be a medieval theme, so I'm going to be doing medieval buildings, medieval themes, motifs, castles, things like that, small villages, peasant towns, things like that, just all throughout it. And I'm really excited for it. I wasn't sure what to expect from the beginning, but after we build 3 buildings in the small little front area in this episode, and it comes out freaking awesome. I'm so excited to show you guys. I really love it. Right now I'm just working on a big moat and a small lake, basically what's going to be surrounding the larger castle, which is going to be held in the middle of the park, with sort of the village set surrounding it. And I've been researching a lot of medieval village. I've been looking a lot at Renaissance festival places, like if any of you have been to a Renaissance fair, Renaissance festival, I've been looking at those sorts of buildings for inspiration. There's actually one in Arizona I've gone to a few times, so I went and looked at pictures specifically of those ones, and it came out pretty cool. I'm also speeding up the footage quite a bit more. I found a new way in Vegas to speed it up, so hopefully we'll be able to get a lot more done in a shorter space. This first building I'm working on is the main entrance building. It's not actually going to serve any purpose. I don't know, I was thinking maybe like some sort of town hall or just a large structure in the building, just kind of center this village entrance way around. So we built a couple different structures on top of it. I need to learn to stop spinning the camera around as much, especially if I plan on doing these higher speeds. But basically we're just starting off with our the little balcony pieces, making our own little roof. Kind of a 2-level design where you're going to have the half walls on the top, so it's just kind of the raised windows. So in my mind, there isn't actually a separate floor there, but rather the main hall in the main building is just that tall. It's kind of like a steeped roof design. You know, it's been a long time since I took an architectural class. I have taken an art history class and focused on architecture. It's just been a long time. Well, I didn't focus, we covered it. But then I have these little front pieces, and I wanted to make some sort of steeple or top cap for them. And I was trying to add a couple different designs, trying to figure out exactly what I wanted to do there. And it ended up just taking, it was a door piece, and flipping that backwards and using that, because I wanted to use a different wood than the ones we used on the rest of the roof. So we basically took this door piece, flipped it back, and it has real nice wooden texture on the back. I'm not 100% in love with the rounded tops, and we actually found a solution for that in a building we do later, which is I just have the rounded tops touch each other so they kind of cancel each other out. But now the big part was trying to find something to fill this gap. And so I took these driftwood planks and kind of filled it in, and it doesn't look horrible. Luckily, I did learn that you can just copy and paste any number of items on the walls, so that does solve our problems quite a bit. And then we're adding the back roof here. The gaps in the sides of the building don't look that great right now. I filled those in later. It took a little bit of troubleshooting to figure out what I wanted to do. But again, the end result came out pretty well. I was just trying to fill with those. We ended up removing that and doing something later. So I'm just adding a little bit more decorating around it. Doing our standard post design, which is something you see in a lot of these older buildings where they have the walls. It's not like Adobe, it's not like clay. I forgot the name. They're just the kind of the thinner material, and then you have the wooden structures on top, or on the edges, just kind of supporting everything. But here we go, we're just decorating a bit, adding some designs out to the front, adding those sort of brick arches to give a little bit more detail. Go around the back, make sure it's filling the back, and we are going to add like a cool little path around the back that kind of looks like a patio or a porch or something. And I think that came out pretty well. I think we're doing that right about now. Nope. Okay. What I wanted to do here was build a wall that we could just use throughout the park, and similar to what we did in Adventureland in Seatopia, which basically just sunk a wall piece below the ground, or just sunk any random building piece below the ground, and then use the different decorations and stuff to kind of make this little wall. So we have the wooden beams, or we have the stone beams going across with the wooden supports holding them up, and I think it looks pretty cool, very medieval looking, or old-timey, so I'm digging it. And just filling in the air with bushes. I really like those sort of small trees there. They're like these little, I forgot the name of them in the game, but they're like these little rose bushes. I think they're really cool. They're smaller, so they don't obstruct the view as much, because I do want to still put trees, but I don't want to put an insane amount of trees, like kind of like what we ended up doing around the park last time, because that was a lot of trees. I kind of want to focus on this, like a lot more with the smaller bushes and just fill in the area. And then there was this weird lump in the ground I couldn't figure out. I couldn't get the disappear, so I like to leave the building and then was able to finally push it down and make it flat. So we have a nice little path going across there. I'm hoping a lot of this will be visible because in the preview right now that I'm watching in my editing program, it's kind of fast and rapid, but it's not showing me all the frames just because I can't really keep up, so I'm hoping it'll be good. We'll see. The videos will be a little bit shorter, but we'll still get a lot of stuff done. Like, this total recording was probably 3 hours or so, 3-4 hours, and we'll get it down to what, like 11 minutes? That's not too bad. As long as it's not too fast, that is like difficult and annoying to watch. So definitely let me know what you guys think. It is adjustable. So right now it's like 12 times faster than real life. I think I may lower it down to 10 times faster. That should help. But honestly, with this little nitty-gritty detail stuff, we need to keep it going. And here's something I discovered. So I took those cool white stone floor pieces and realized this looks pretty cool. So I can just stack them up in there because I wanted a different color there. I didn't want to use the brick. I didn't want to use the wood. I wanted something a little different. And I think this fit the bill perfectly. So I basically just went in and removed those walls and then just filled in the space. And again, these aren't rooms now because there isn't actually, you can't actually go in there because it's just filled with floors. But a suspension of disbelief, only the outside appearance matters. Then took those wooden beams and kind of brought it across here. Just had them barely stick out. It's nice so they can stick out enough that you can see them on the wall, but they don't actually protrude through the window space, which really works well in that. And then I decided to work on a separate building over here, and this was going to be a food and drink stand, I'm pretty sure I ended up doing. And I saw this cool design where they kind of had this side path, and then the well, it's more like the building extruded over the path. So I kind of wanted to incorporate that here, where I'd have the path kind of go in there, and then just have the building over it. So we're using the stone design, just kind of build in this tower. Well, I don't know what those are called, those kind of towers that stick out. I don't know. I don't even know if there's a word for it, but we decided just to go for that. It's a cool design. Again, most of these are just inspired by pictures of medieval buildings I'm finding. Mostly Renaissance fairs, like I said, so they might not be 100% historically accurate, but they look pretty cool. You know, they're not horrible. Again, using the same plank design, just kind of fill in those spaces. Copying and pasting is so convenient. I love it. Unfortunately, you can't copy and paste between other buildings. What I would like to see in the game in the future is a way to copy all the things and then save them as their own set pieces. That'd be great. So like if I wanted to save that little triangle of wood for future uses, I could copy it, I could save it, and then I could just add to any building all willy-nilly. And this is a technique I actually discovered. I went around and I was looking around the Planet Coaster subreddit, and some other people had videos on there that other people linked to. And this was Silveret's. I think I watched Silveret. I think that's his name. His is mind blowing. If you want to see good Planet Coaster building, oh my god, he is absolutely insane. But he had this cool technique where you place those roofs and then use those as a guideline just to make them into whatever the material you wanted. So I did that. I placed the blue roofs and then just used that as a guideline for my back of the doors as a wooden roof. So it looks a lot better there because we were able to join the two rounded pieces together. But all in all, that building came out pretty cool. I really like how it looks. So people can actually walk in and they won't actually cross the threshold, because we had some problems in the previous park where people were just like phasing through walls all kind of creepily. But that's not going to happen here because we actually do have the separate path there. It's just covered by that wall. So hopefully no one will be ghosting around or anything. And then just building these separate little areas. I wanted a little area that was kind of like the staff entrance to the food and drink stand, so kind of where supplies are. There's a little well. Looks real nice. Putting some potted plants around, doing some decorating, and then adding the stone layer to the bottom. That's just something I like to do with a lot of these buildings because it's a nice breaking point or joining point for the ground. So you don't just have a wall straight going to the ground. You have a wall, and then it's kind of the stone molding going around the outside, then into the ground. And I accidentally hit play there. I don't remember why, so it did go to the night cycle a little bit. Do apologize for that. Hopefully here I'll remember to pause it. And then we're doing the same thing with this building. I think this ends up being a hat stand. And I wanted to try some different materials for roofs. So we found this sort of stone molding. So again, we just placed it on the roof. And then we can just copy and paste the whole thing. And flip it to the back, even though we were missing some pieces. It's alright looking. So it's a little stone roof. It does look a lot better once we actually add the supports right now. There we go, starting to come together. And I wanted a sort of, I wanted a balcony up there, kind of over the entrance. So that's why it's kind of that weird shape right now. It'll make more sense once we actually have the balcony on there. Then just filling in those gaps is kind of hard because these pieces are so long, and so you kind of have to finagle them into a way to cover it. And in fact, once we remove these other pieces, you'll see that it does kind of stick out a little bit too much. So So you can see them there. And then I removed some of that wooden trim around the edge. So I think it was a hat stand. That looks like a hat stand to me. The preview is very small in my window. I can't quite see it very well. But it's looking alright. Very cool, very cool. Finishing up the stone around there. And then just filling in with some more bushes. And I am putting trees, even though I said I didn't want to put too many trees, but oh well. And then I filled that in there, just kind of give it a little bit of a differentiation. And finished off the building. But that's going to be it for this episode of Planet Coaster, guys. Make sure you leave a like if you did enjoy. And let me know if you have any suggestions for the medieval theme, any sort of particular architectural styles or anything to look into that may be cool. I'll see you guys next time for some more Planet Coaster. Bye.